Do you ever have food cravings where you find yourself eating things like a bag of crisps or a whole packet of biscuits and wishing you hadn't afterwards? Well, a lot of people experience food cravings, and these can really get in the way of effective weight loss, for instance, and just general healthy living. This is something that's been an issue in my life for sure, and it's something that I've been looking for a way to deal with it. And I came across a way of doing this when working with other people. And the idea I came up with was based on the work of Lucas Derks. Now, you may have come across Lucas Derks before. He's the person who came up with the idea of the social panorama. He came up with the idea that we store representations of the different people in our lives in different places, spatially around us, in order to understand our relationship to them on an unconscious level. Now, it occurred to me that we probably do the same thing with other things as well, including food. And I started to explore this, and in particular when I was working with clients wanting to lose weight, I discovered that there were some patterns to this. And there were particular categories of food that people had. People would have food that they really loved, food that they adored, and they really enjoyed the sensual quality of eating that food. And they would store that in a particular location. They'd have other food that they knew was good for them. Do you have anything like that where you know it's good for you? And you eat it just because you know of that? Well, the interesting thing is they kept those foods in different places. And then there were foods that they disliked completely. So let me show you this on myself, just to give you an idea of this. Now, when I think about the foods that I really love, the foods that I really enjoy eating, I seem to keep them in this area here around myself. Now, foods that I like, that I know are good for me, are slightly lower. They're kind of down here. And then there is a particular food that I dislike to such an extent that it kind of makes me gag when I even think about it. And I keep that about here, and it's anchovies. Ugh! Just keep them just about there. Now, if I use, for my own example, something that I'd like to stop eating altogether, and I'd like to stop even wanting them, that would be sweet biscuits. So chocolate biscuits, ginger biscuits, all of those kind of things. And they're, at the moment, they're firmly in this place over here. Now, in order to deal with this, all I need to do is shift where I'm storing that internal representation. And quite honestly, it is as simple as deciding to move it. So taking that food and sticking it next to anchovies. Now, one of the things that I haven't mentioned yet, which is really important, and if you're NLP trained, you'll know this already, is if somebody is eating food as a comfort, and they've learnt to do that as a way of managing how they feel, there will be other work we need to do around this. So if that's you, then by all means please seek out some additional support with this. But if all you've got is a craving, something that you're eating at the moment that you'd rather not be eating, you need to be really sure you want to give it up, work out where do you keep it. For me it's here. And what's something you dislike so much that it really makes you feel, ugh? For me, it's over here, anchovies. Now, here's the thing that's really important. For you, the locations may be completely different. So let me give you another example. I was working with a woman a few years ago who wanted to give up bread. She was trying to lose weight, and eating bread was what was sabotaging her because she loved it so much. Any kind of bread. And she would eat some every day. In fact, not just some, quite a lot. And for her, she actually had bread kind of just right in front of her, and the stuff she didn't like was down to the side here. And so I got her to move bread just down to the side over here, slightly behind her, which is where she kept the foods that she didn't like. And she stopped eating bread that day. And she didn't eat bread again. And in fact, over a 2-month period, she lost almost 30 pounds in weight easily and without even having to try very hard, because she'd taken out the one food that was really getting in her way in her progress. So it is kind of easy. What I would say though is, if there are other issues that are important for you, do seek some help and some support about that. Let me know how you get on. By all means, send me some posts. Let me know what your experience of using this technique is. And I hope to share with you some other ideas later on.